For over 7 years, 𝗦𝗫𝗃 Consulting has been empowering individuals, organizations, and government parastatals in information technology, business management, leadership development, and finance. Through our end-to-end training services, we help our clients achieve notable landmarks with our long-standing valued affiliate relationships with Microsoft, EC Council, 𝗬𝗲𝗄, PECB, Cisco, and AWS. 𝗦𝗫𝗃 Consulting offers training and certifications in diverse areas like Network Plus, cybersecurity, cloud computing, project management, Agile Scrum, soft skills, amongst many others, with guaranteed to run classes, virtual classes, on-site classes, online classes, and customized classes. 𝗦𝗫𝗃 Consulting enhances career development, promotes relevance, and ensures quality delivery. 𝗦𝗫𝗃 Consulting is located in Nigeria, Kenya, and United Kingdom. Visit www.𝗦𝗫𝗃.com or call 090-381-38550 or 081-409-84158. You can also visit us at 24 𝗲𝗲𝗍𝗲𝗃 Street off Allen Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. How are we today and where are we joining from? So it's very interesting. Hello, Christy joined early. We're happy to have you here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another wonderful session. I'll be your host today and I'll be your moderator. My name is Ogechi Nwojiji, and I'm dialing in from Port Harcourt. Where I'm dialing in from, put it in the comment section. Let's know where you're joining us from. So we had a very interesting session yesterday where we had wonderful Yewande take us through S3 buckets. If you missed it yesterday, you have the opportunity to go through the video and watch it again. Hello, Christiana. Nice to meet you. Thank you for joining us from Lagos. Oh, Lagos. Oh, it's like maybe I need to port to Lagos, but no, I'm not joining any of you in Lagos. I love it here in Port Harcourt. It's oh, everyone, imagine Lagos is winning. Like, this is serious. Lagos, Nigeria is winning and winning. I need more people from other parts of Nigeria, other parts of the world, because this is a worldwide West Africa event. Oh, Lagos. Oh, this is interesting. Nice to have all of you here. Once again, my name is Ogechi Nwojiji, and I'll be your host for this evening. With me, I have a wonderful and amazing instructor by the name Ukeme David Eseme. Ukeme is highly skilled. He has a promising future, and he's very passionate about cloud DevOps, web development, web and blockchain development. He has a strong track record in the industry, and he possesses over 4 years of experience in website development. What more can you ask for? We have seasoned instructor for you at every time. Oh, this is interesting. We have someone from Cameroon. Yes. Everyone is not joining in from Lagos. We have 2 people from Cameroon. We have Sam from Cameroon, and we have Tembe from Cameroon. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I'm excited, and I hope you are as excited. So sit back while we welcome Ukeme to join us. Ukeme is one very passionate teacher, someone that he's also one of the organizers of the AWS User Group community. Yes. Oh, from United States. Someone is joining us all the way from the United States. This is beautiful. We're excited. If you know what is good, you just go and make noise on your various social media platforms. Let others join you as well on this call so that you're not alone. And let it no, we don't want more people from Lagos, Nigeria. Lagos, Nigeria is dominating. So hello, Keme. Hello, Keme. How are you?
Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Nice. Where are you joining us from? How is the weather like in your place? How are you excited about today's session?
I'm joining you from planet Mars, inside Elon Musk's um, SpaceX rocket ship.
Oh,
So we
that's
just landed.
beautiful.
We just landed in Mars at the moment.
Oh, it's like, okay, you are in Mass, I'm in Port Harcourt, others are, more people are in Lagos, and that's beautiful. Ukeme
So
is from Mass
blessing,
and he's in Mass.
blessing. We need more interplanetary people in this
Yes,
conversation.
we need
Like we need
more.
someone
We
from
need more of
Pluto.
them. No one from your interplanetary is here with us. Oh, can you see? I have a partner that is in River State, Nigeria. I'm also in River State. Afo, nice to meet you. I'm excited. So over to you, Keme. We're going to start in now so that we have order of events. After this session, please stay to the end. We have a quiz session where you get to win an amazing prize by participating. It's not just by winning the prize that is the essence. The essence is for you to learn and then test your knowledge. So stay up until the end where we learn how to implement development strategies for instance, container, and serverless environment. I'm sure you will enjoy this because Ukeme has very diverse knowledge. See, he's scratching his head. His head looks small, but it's very mighty. Ukeme, over to you.
You guys should not mind this blessing. She's the number one hype man in AWS West Africa. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. Yeah. So today we're talking about implementing deployment strategies for instances, container, and serverless environments. This is a very wide topic and requires a lot of, should I say, practical implementation to get this done. Because of time, I won't be able to go through the practical part of it, which is the demo. What I'm going to do is I would create three new videos, post them on my YouTube channel, and then you can follow up with the practicality of things from there. Um, by the way, I'm going to send a link to my YouTube channel just to, do some little publicity. Thank you, Christina. Thank you. Thank you, 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗿𝗁. Yeah. All right. So next slide. Yeah. So we'll be covering the importance of deployment strategies in AWS environments. Then we'll talk about deployment types, deployment strategy types, talk about instance deployments, container deployments, serverless, and we would most likely not have a demo. All right. So yeah, about me. Well, I have a background in web development, uh, cloud development, and blockchain development. I am an active member of the Security User Group. Okay. I just want you guys to know that I have a YouTube channel. Anyways, so yeah. The importance of deployment strategies in AWS environments. All right. So there are several things we need to note. Why I wrote out six major things that are like the go-to things in terms of the importance and the reasons why we should have a deployment strategy. So the first thing is it minimizes downtime. So it eliminates downtime during updates and release. So basically, okay, we'll have to. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, exactly. Blessing. All right. So in terms of minimizing downtime, um, when you have a deployment strategy, let's say, for example, you have an application and then you want to release an update to that application. If you have a proper deployment strategy in place, you won't have any downtime, especially if you have an enterprise application. So from moving from one feature to another or releasing a new update, everything seems to be working seamlessly, and then the next thing, boom, there's already a feature there people are already using it without even knowing when this feature was pushed. So the next thing is rollback compatibilities. So it gives you the ability to quickly roll back changes if issues or errors are detected during a deployment. All right, I think that explains itself, in the sense that you have the opportunity to roll back. Have you ever experienced some issues where you download an app and then they release a new feature, you update the app, and the next thing you know, something stopped working? All right, that's some guy from my SpaceX my SpaceX rocket ship. All right, so and then you find out that there's when you download an app, you update the app, you find out that there's some issues, something stopped working, and then people start complaining, this thing is not working, this thing is not working, and then before you know it, in less than an hour or in a few minutes, you can easily just roll back to the previous version of the application, the more stable version. So it gives you the ability to roll back when you have errors or when you detect any issues in your application or in your deployment. Scalability. So scalability is basically, this is not just for deployment, it's a feature. Most of these things I'm talking about are even features in AWS. This is the reason why you should use AWS. Scalability, one of the major reasons. You can easily scale up your resource or scale down your resource based on demand, which is optimizing cost and then the performance. So that's a feature of AWS, and that's also another feature of using deployment strategies. The next thing is resource utilization. So it ensures that you are not over provisioning or under provisioning. This helps control costs and improves resource utilization. So if I'm going to talk about that, um, if you have a strategy in place, we will go deep into like the types of strategy very soon. But there's a specific type of strategy that you would have in place that makes sure that you do not overuse or underuse your resources. In terms of risk mitigation, you can test changes in controlled environment before rolling them out, which is very, very important. It gives you the opportunity to test your change before you roll them to production. This is reducing the risk of breaking your live application. You don't want your live application breaking, right? So you have to. This is like a very important reason why you should have a deployment strategy in place. Also, continuous improvement, which actually is similar to enabling CI/CD. So CI/CD is short for continuous improvement and continuous development. That's a very important, or should I say, important sector or aspect of DevOps: continuous improvement, continuous delivery, continuous development. You know, this allows for rapid iteration and improvement of applications over time. Right? I'm sure you got that. Yeah. So there are. Let me move this. Oh, okay. All right. I'm trying to. Okay. So deployment strategy types. That should have been this. So there's a recreate deployment type. So this gives you, in this, you have like version A. Version A is terminated when version B is rolling out. So what does that mean? You have two different rollouts of your application going to production. You have version A, you have version B. Just imagine that left and right, right? So with recreate, you have to terminate version A, and then you have version B rollout. All right. So that's it with Recreate. Very simple, basic, straight to the point, and it has a lot of cons. We'll get to that. Then there's the ramped, also known as the rolling of updates or incremental deployments, right? So version B is slowly rolled out and replacing version A. Do you get? So once I start explaining, going deep into this, you see images that best illustrates what I'm explaining, because right now you might not really be able to picture the outcomes of these things, but just follow up. I'll go deep into these things in a bit. So blue-green deployment, which is the third type, which is version B, is released alongside version A. So we have the two of them released at the same time, and then the traffic is switched from A to B. So blue, A, B, green. So you're basically just, they're both live, but you're basically just switching traffic. Yeah. So the fourth one is Canary. So Canary deployment, you have version B is released to a subset of users and then proceed to a full rollout. So what does that mean? It means you already have a version already running, right? But then you basically release version B to a subset, meaning not if you have like 100% of traffic, of users using the application, you basically release. You can say, okay, let me release this new version to 20% of the people. You try that out, there's no error. You release again. You say, okay, I'll increase this to 90% or 80%, of traffic, like that, to subset of users until you have a full rollout. I have images to illustrate that. And then the fifth one is A/B testing. A/B testing is also used in business, not just in deployments. It's used in business. I'll come back to that because there's something I want to explain. Shadow. So shadow deployment, version B receives the real world traffic alongside version A and doesn't impact the response. Okay, so let's go to the next. Yes, if you check our title, it is actually implement deployment strategies for instance, container, serverless. So I will take instance, I'll take containers, and then I'll take serverless environments and try and describe examples of deployment strategies you can use for each. Uh, so yes, I'm trying to read what's on this thing. It looks very small from here. Okay, big screen. Good. All right, so instance deployment. In terms of instance deployment in AWS, you're basically referring to managing and updating VMs instances like EC2. You're referring to how you manage your your, your EC2 instances. It involves deploying new instances, updating the existing one, ensuring the availability and reliability of your application or service. So I don't have to explain what EC2 instance is because I'm sure almost everyone here knows what EC2 is. Okay, good. So these are the diagrams. This diagram on the right is meant to be animated. Now it is not looking like it's animating. It's meant to be animated to show the how it works. But anyways, um I'll just explain it like that. Then in my tutorial, we can have all of this done proper. So with blue-green deployment, like we said earlier, you have a version B, which is the green deployment, is deployed side by side with version A, which is the blue deployment. The two of these deployments are running with equal number of instances. So that basically means if version B, the green, has 4 instances, version A, the blue, also has 4 instances. So they are running side by side, right? Following comprehensive testing to ensure that the new version satisfies all requirements, traffic is switched from version A to version B at the load balancer level. So we have both, right? I'm going to use my hand to do the explanation. 4 instances here, right? And then once we've done the testing, let's say in version B, which is the new one, which people are meant to consume, and we find out that everything is working fine, we can now switch the traffic, from the load balancer level. So the load balancer is actually the resource that actually, should I say, that distributes traffic to those instances, right? So that's basically it. Blue, green, you're switching traffic via the load balancer, once you've done comprehensive testing. So this also has its pros and it has its cons, just like every other thing in life. Um, uh, is this try to give me a minute. Try to just okay. So the pros, instant rollback. Like I said, it gives you instant rollback or instant rollout. It avoids um, versioning issues. We'll come to that question. Shadow deployment type. We'll come to that. All right. So please remind me, Blessing, at the end to take that question. Yes, so it avoids versioning issues. The entire application state is changed in one go, right? So it's a quick in one go, it's just a quick switch, all right, in terms of traffic. The cons is expensive as it requires double the resources. So if it costs me $20 to run 5 instances or 4 instances for 1 hour, if I'm going to run two side by side, it means I need to have money, right? So I'm basically paying times two of that, which is something that most startups would not want to do because of bootstrapping. All right, because of time, I'll go to the next one. Rollout. My voice is not loud. Rollout slash round deployments. Right. So, in terms of rollout deployment strategy, this consists of slowly rolling out a version of the application by replacing instances one after the other until all the resources are rolled out. Depending on the system taking care of the ramped deployment, you can begin to tweak some things there. So let me explain what this actually means in layman terms. So basically, I have version one on my left, version two on my right. Version one has 3 instances, right? Version two doesn't have any instance yet. So from this, I will basically just subtract one instance from version one and add that to version two. So it means I will now have 2 instances in version one and one in version two. Let's say in like 20 minutes or in a few days, I can now decide to roll out and say, okay, one instance in version one and 2 instances in version two. And then after a few weeks, I can now say, okay, 0 instance in version one and 3 instances in version three, right? So basically, I'm slowly moving from version one to version two by replacing the number of instances in both. That is what we mean by parallelism, you know, and you can decide to, tweak some of these parameters to increase the deployment time. You can tweak the max batch size, which is the number of concurrent instances to roll out. You can tweak the max surge, which is how many instances to add in addition of the current rollout. You can tweak the max unavailable, which is the number of unavailable instances during the rollout update procedure. All right, so it has its pros and cons, just like every other thing in life. Um, so the pro is it's easy to set up. The version is slowly released across instances. Yes, slow release across instances. Note that's the key thing about this deployment type. Convenient for stateful applications that can handle rebalancing of the data. That's big English, but we leave that. And then the cons is that when you want to roll out or when you're doing a rollback, it basically can take time to do that. And then supporting multiple APIs is actually hard and no control over the traffic. You're not controlling the traffic that comes in. You're basically just controlling the instances, that that are available for your rollout. All right. So next slide. Yes. So container deployment. In terms of container deployment on AWS, we're basically talking about efficiently managing services like ECS and EKS. So ECS is Elastic Container Service, and ECS is Elastic Container Service, and EKS is Elastic Kubernetes Service. All right. So with that, yeah, most of the time you use a canary deployment. Now, let me just let you know that in terms of the deployment types you want to use, sometimes it's based on the type of service you're running. Sometimes it's based on purely business decisions, business logics, and you're trying to get metrics. Those can also determine the type of um, deployment you use. So for this, we're just going with the canary deployment, all right? So the deployment is mostly used when testing. Yes, so this is good. It's mostly used when testing, and when you're testing, and when you're trying to check if some things are reliable or not. When you're trying to check the stability of the new release of that platform. So the canary deployment consists of gradually shifting production traffic from version A to version B. Usually, the traffic is split based on weight. For example, 90% of the requests go to version A, 10% is going to version B. So this is similar to the rollout. But in terms of rollout doesn't control the traffic but controls the instances, you know. But Canary controls the traffic and not the instance. So if you have version A, version B, I'm going to explain again, right? What you're now doing is both of these instances are running at the same time, right? But what you expose the traffic to each. So I can say, for example, the old deployment, which is version A, has like 90% of traffic, and then I put the new deployment version B to take 10% of the traffic. AWS does this a lot when they're trying to test a new feature or when they release a new feature to get customer feedback, right? So Canary is a very, very popular deployment. So gradually, if they are fine with the new deployment, you can now say, okay, 50% in A, 50% in B, like that, until you have 0% in A and 100% in B, right? So that's what they call the canary deployment, right? So the pros and cons, like every other thing in life. The Pro version released for a subset of users, like I said, 9%, 90%, 10%, 50%, 50%, subset of users. Convenient for error rates and performance monitoring. Okay, so you basically use this most of the time to check your error rates and monitor performance, and then it has a fast rollback. The con basically is that the rollout is slow, which is why you have those percentage of of moving traffic. Okay, so move to my next slide. Running out of time. Serverless deployment. So in terms of serverless deployment in AWS, we're talking about services like AWS Lambda. So the key thing about serverless deployment is that it is event driven. It has this event driven cloud computing approach that enables developers to build scalable and cost-efficient application without managing the traditional server infrastructure. So when they say something is serverless, right, it doesn't mean that you don't have any server. There is actually a server, okay? It's just that you don't manage it. You don't think about configuring the server, managing or patching or whatnot. AWS does all of that for you. So with Lambda is basically based on events. You do something, triggers an event that leads to another thing. Okay, so that's what we mean by serverless technology, event-driven development. Okay, yeah. So I have this chart here that basically lists out the pros and cons of this um, using this technology. This is my last slide though, so let me take some time to do some explaining here. Um, Give me a minute. Yeah. Okay. So if you look at this last slide carefully, you will see the benefits that in terms of zero downtime, every other deployment strategy gives you zero downtime except you are using the recreate strategy. The recreate strategy, which is basically just you shutting down one instance and creating a new instance. There's a downtime in between that process, And then you have real traffic testing, you know. All of this you can maybe just go ahead and read more about this, download my slides and just check it. Because of time, I won't be doing too much here. In terms of targeted users, right? A/B testing is what they actually use to target like users and like the condition of users. If this user is coming from a desktop device or from a laptop device or from a mobile phone, you can target each device. That's basically an A/B testing um, deployment strategy. And to note, A/B testing is not just in DevOps, but it's something that people use in business, to test their products. Yeah, so you can basically check all of this. I'm going to publish my slides on LinkedIn. You can do more, check more from there. All right, so I'm going to stop here. I don't have one last thing. Oh, A/B testing. So I jumbled up my slides. You get, so this is supposed to come before that. I didn't see that, but anyways, let's just still explain. So A/B testing technique is widely used to test conversions. All right. So of a given test conversions of a given feature and only roll out the version that converts the most. So A/B testing deployment consists of routing a subset of users. I think I've explained all of this before. I'm sure you get the idea. But I'm going to just list out the pros and cons. Let's talk about that for a bit. Before that, yes. So this technique is widely used to test conversions of a given feature and only roll out a version that converts the most. So there's a list of conditions that can be used to distribute traffic among the versions. You can use cookie as a condition, you know, or as an event to distribute traffic. You can use your query parameters. You can use your geolocalization, that's your location. You can test users based on location. You can test users based on the technology supports in terms of the browser version, the screen size they are using to access the application, also the operating system. You can also use the language, as a condition to distribute traffic. That's why you go to some websites. If you are in Benin Republic or a French-speaking country, automatically most of the things you search on the internet comes out in French. Even if you just left Nigeria yesterday, you go to another country immediately. Everything is just in that language. So a deployment strategy is in place there, in terms of like A/B testing and all of that. So you are deploying based on localization. All right. So in terms of the pros and cons, the pros, there are several versions you can run in parallel. So you can have a website that is in 20 countries and everything is running at the same time. So you're just distributing traffic based on geolocalization conditions, right? And then you have full control over the traffic distribution. You determine what each individual would see. Like, for example, if you traveled by road through West Africa, yeah, once you get to the border, once you get to the border, you get a text message. Sometimes it's in the language of the country where you're in. So you ask yourself two questions. How do they know that I have left my country and I'm in this country? How do they know the language? You get, so it's based on this kind of deployment. So they call that geofencing. Okay. Geofencing in the sense that you any device that crosses a specific geolocation receives a specific type of data or information, personalized information in some cases. So um, that's for you having full control over the traffic distribution. And then the cons, it requires an intelligent load balancer, in which I won't really call it con because AWS will sort that out for you. Okay. And then it's hard to troubleshoot errors for a given session. Distributed tracing becomes mandatory. Okay. So what that basically means is that if you have errors because you kind of like you have different, should I say, versions of your application or your deployment running at the same time. If there's an error somewhere, it might be hard for you to trace that error. Okay. You now have to start using things like distributed tracing to find out, okay, where is this problem from? Where exactly is it coming from? Okay. So those are kind of like cons. I would stop here because of time, and then in 1 week I should release a YouTube video on how to actually use these deployment strategies. Okay. That's it from me. Blessing, can you come out from where you are? Is Blessing there? Here. Blessing will come out. I'm done. I should have a slide that says thank you, but unfortunately I don't.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. The slide that says thank you is me. Thank you, everyone, for saying, wow, that was very, very, very unlike Ukeme. The Ukeme that we know is the one that likes to teach and teach and teach. So, thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, very everyone, for joining. It's time for our quiz.
Wait, will there not be question and answers before quiz?
Yes,
Eh?
yes. So let's go ahead. We have questions from Toby. From Noibi, it says, can you please explain the shadow deployment type again?
All right. So a shadow deployment consists of releasing version B alongside version A, right? So one of them is a shadow. So a forked version A's incoming requests and send them to version B. So version A gets an incoming request and then it sends it to the shadow deployment, which is version B. So it's basically one version getting a request and then sending it to the second version without impacting production traffic. Do you get that? So this is particularly useful when you're trying to test production load on a new feature. Okay, so that's it basically. You have two deployments. One is the major one. The other one is the shadow one, right? So this gets traffic and then it sends that traffic to this other guy, which is the shadow. I hope that answers the question.
Can you see? I have a support here that says, this is unlike you. I knew it. I said it. It's unlike Ukeme. So, Ukeme, you have to tell us. Then from
There's a
Noibi, hope that
there's
answers your question. Noibi is
wait
asking another question. Which among these deployment stacks type is good for better rollout and most cost effective for deploying our application?
So this is a very good question. In terms of cost effectiveness, I would say because most of these strategies, you need to have two should I say two instances or two versions of your application running. But for me, I would prefer to go for the blue green strategy. But if you don't have money, just go for recreate, meaning I off this one and I put on this other one. But the issue with that one now is that you have downtime in between. There'll be downtime. I hope that answers your question.
I hope that, thank you, Kemi. I hope that answers your question, Noibi. Please correct me or let me 𝗦𝗏𝗿𝗁. Yes, I think I got that one correctly. So thank you very much, Ukeme. I think it's Olamilekan that is really invested in today's session. Wow, he's really in love with you.
There's a guy there called God's Time. I'm not going to answer his question because he's my guy. He just
No,
wants
we're
to
not biased yet. In fact, I'm even
no,
going
God's
to ask
Time.
the
Me, I'm
question.
not because once I leave here, now it's me and God's Time. We'll go and wear the same trouser. So,
Okay, okay, that's
but it's a
all
good
right.
question, though. It's a good question. I can still answer
Yes,
that if you want.
yes. So from we have this. This is not really like a question. It's both question and it says so. Practically, how will you do environment updates using Lambda aliases with API gateway?
Hmm. That's a deep question. That's why I said that God's Time is looking for my trouble. Let me read. Please, can you read that out again?
So practically, how will you do environment updates using Lambda aliases with API gateway?
Uh, I will be very honest with you. I haven't really used updated environmental updates with Lambda aliases with API gateway. I haven't. So it's something I'll probably have to do my research on and probably do a YouTube video on that.
Okay, thank you very much. So this from Ebenezer, it says an example when Microsoft insiders have an insider build, but some specific features restricted to a set of testers before a wild rollout. I don't know if this is a question or it's a comment. There's a question mark, and he's asking Ukeme.
Okay, so that's a what's the name of this deployment now where you have that's a canary deployment. That's a canary deployment. So meaning that you have two versions, but you split the traffic. 10% of people will probably be getting the newer version, 90% consuming the previous version of the deployment. So slowly, slowly, slowly until you have 100% of the new deployment and then 0% or maybe 10% of the previous deployment. So I think it's referring to a canary canary deployment there.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope that answered your question, Ebenezer. Okay, that brings us to the end of Excel. Sorry, I missed it. From Excel, we have this question. Is increased cost part of the cons of A and B testing?
Increased costs if it's part of the cons, no, no. So the major cost of A and B testing, the major cost is that it's hard for you to troubleshoot errors because you have different, should I say, versions running parallelly, running at the same time. So I don't think. Wait, what's that question again? Please put that question up. Put it up.
Okay, I'm coming right away.
Yeah.
Please, it's up.
Is increased cost part of the cons? So when we say increased cost in any deployment, it is when you have more than one deployment running at the same time, right? So they're running at the same time and they're open to the world at the same time. So if you have 4 instances for one deployment, and then you have another 4 instances for another deployment running at the same time, you definitely have some cost issues. You are paying double the money, right? So in terms of A/B testing, you can basically have one deployment with several instances inside of it, right? And then one instance can actually be maybe feeding data to people in France, so localized data in people in France. Some other instance is feeding on that type of data based on some specific condition. These 4 instances are in one deployment. Let's note that. So you aren't really paying double the price because it's one deployment. Okay. But the cons for that, for A/B testing, is when you have errors, it's hard for you to trace them. You have to do distributed tracing, or to find those errors.
All right, thank you very much. And we have someone, this one is not okay, from Kola Emmanuel. We have this question. It said, where can we get live project ready application to deploy and add to, I think, to
Yes,
me or to resuming?
resume. I think it needs. It's talking about. So let me do some advert. Blessing. Am I allowed to do adverts for the
At the
study group?
end, at the end, when we're done.
Okay, because that's the answer to your question. You
Okay,
know.
so Ukeme has a YouTube channel.
No, I wait. It's not YouTube channel. Let me just talk. We have a DevOps study group where the goal there is to teach people practical, hands-on skills for live projects that they can add to their portfolio. So we have several applications that we have. We have a weather app. We have a video game. We have we have a weather app. We have a video game. We have a DevOps bank. I think we just released a movie search app, right? So we just keep creating new apps and then deploying them, teaching people how to use these applications, deploying this application and then adding that to your portfolio just so you have some hands-on skill. I'm going to look for the link and then send that link in the chat if I'm allowed.
All
So
right. So Kola went further to say, like app projects. I think Kola, I think you can get all that. We have to hurry because of time. So right now we'll take more questions after the quiz. So drum roll, guys. And it's time for quiz. I'll be sharing my screen for us to join this quiz. So can you see my screen? Okay, it's loading. It's loading. Hope we are prepared and pumped up. So if you listen throughout the class, I'm sure this is going to be easy peasy for you. One thing that I like is that Ukeme loves teaching a whole lot. He's really very multi-talented and he really loves sharing his knowledge. He knows how to go to break it down brick by brick, and it makes it easy for anyone who listens to him to understand it. And then my village people have visited my network and it doesn't want to finish loading. So let me stop sharing this tab and let's see if it will finish, it will load faster.
I say link to the quiz. Oh.
Yes, it's loading. It's loading. Please let's just be patient a bit and let me start it again. Sorry, please, it's just a network glitch. Okay, Ukeme has shared the link to, I don't know why it's taking time to load. I think I'll just go ahead and share my screen so that we see it happening at the same time. And so sorry for this glitch. I don't know if it's a network glitch or it's an error from Kahoot. Okay. So what we'll do as we wait for this to load is just to gist. How was the classes today? What's your takeaway from the class today while we wait for this quiz to load? What's the one
Is it your network?
I doubt if it's my network. If I'm streaming fine, then it's not my network. It
Uh-huh.
can be an error from Kahoot side.
Kahoot.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
because I'm streaming fine.
Or maybe they're about to release a new rollout. So they have some issues with their deployment.
It's strange. I've reloaded all the parts and finally it's up. It's fine. It's up. So we have this. Okay, sorry for that delay. So if you're seeing my screen, type this code to join. I'll put it in the chat. That's the link to join the Kahoot. Still waiting for you. Yes, I've shared the link. I'll share it. This stream is not hugging any bandwidth. Oh, so we have you ready. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's have more people join us on this.
Should should I join and win the money?
No, please, you're not allowed. We have 27 people on this call. We need to have at least 15 of you on this before we start. So let's hurry. We have, yes.
Please, if God's time wins this thing, don't give him more. God's time
God's
in
time, please
particular.
win it. Please win
If you
it.
win,
As
I will
ready
make sure
it.
I will make sure you don't get it.
God's time, please win it. So we are still waiting. 4 more people, and then we are good to go. So we have 12, 13, 2 more persons to go, and then we start. So if you're on the call, please join. That's the link in the chat. Thank you. And 1 more person, then we start. And while you're at it, perfect. Thank you very much. And then, oh, we have 16. So we start. And mind you, you can still join. So the first question, implementing deployment. This is our topic, implementing deployment strategies. Here comes the first question, drum roll. What is one of the primary benefits of using deployment strategies in AWS environments? And I really can remember that was why Ukeme took his time. Like he was really gentle. I think he had a prayer session before joining this class today. It's unlike
Eh,
yes.
how do you know?
That was why he was so gentle. He took his time to do this delivery today.
That's my new life now.
Oh, that's
That's
awesome.
my
Welcome.
that's
Let's
my
keep
new
it
life.
coming in, and you can still join. Remember, Kahoot works with the fastest finger and the right answer. Yes. Moment of truth is here. Ta-da! Wow. We have 6
Only
people
only
getting it.
6 people.
Yes. Let's see. Wow. Pause. Who is pause? You see, okay, man, you may not be able to see if it's God's time. Question 2.
That pause is not God's time.
Which
I cast and
AWS
find.
service is often used for container deployment, and what deployment strategies can be applied to it?
This is a good question. I actually like it.
Yes, yes,
Uh, it's kind of like confusing, but if you pay attention, you get it.
yes. That was why you just, the more you look before you leap. That's the type of question.
Exactly.
And I really love that with these questions, you can't change your answer. So if you're just joining
Is
us,
that
it's not still too late to join the quiz. You might just be the lucky winner. We have massive.
Christina is answering the quiz from the chats.
No, please, please, please. Yes, and we had 9 people get it correctly. Let's see what's
Fantastic.
happening here. Will someone take? Oh my God, Spurs is still here. Like GH is still leading. Limitless AO. Okay, we'll definitely see. Let's go. Question 3 of 5. Which AWS deployment strategy allows you to test changes in a controlled environment before rolling them out to production? The ENV is environment. So if at the end we discover that someone did an ojoro, that you cheated or you tricked in any way, definitely we wouldn't be awarding you. But because the essence of this is for us to practice what we learned, have fun. Definitely. God's time, please win it so that I'll take your own award. Since Ukeme is picking you out, but don't mind him. If you win it, definitely it's going to be yours. I really love those that joined this session. Everyone really listened and see the engagement. Thank you very much, everyone. Like people are really responding and engaging. So wow. Oh, I think people now did party, thinking C is the right answer. Okay. Okay, so AWS deployment strategy that allows you to test changes in a controlled environment before rolling them out is canary deployment. Let's go. Oh, I think Spurs is just picking C. So
Orochimaru.
Summer, yes. Limitless climbed and GH and Spurs went down. Let's see what's happening. We have 2 more questions. You can reclaim your position. How can deployment strategies help optimize resource utilization in AWS? I think everyone will just, people are just doing the strategy of let's pick just a particular answer. Pick the option without smiling. But it's not just about winning. We want you to really practice it and then have a good takeaway from this.
For some people, it's about winning. They just want to go home with vouchers. What's the name of that guy that was winning? What's his
Tolu,
name? Olu. I hope he's not here. Tolu
he should be
last season.
here. If he gets to keep winning it, that's perfect. And Fauzia, oh, and the answer is by ensuring resources are used efficiently. So at the end, maybe they are right that you see, that is the next. Okay, let's see. Sama is still
Orochimaru.
leading, and Spurs is trying to reclaim his position. So let's go. The last but not the least, what role do deployment strategies play in DevOps culture and practices? I think after this, so many people will become very conversant with these very little questions. One thing I like about this when you engage and participate is that it helps to test your knowledge, those very tiny things that you thought you knew. It helps to verify them.
Are you seeing the chat?
Oh, like
People are
on
complaining.
the Kahoot is working. Sorry, it may be your network. Oh, Samson, so sorry about that. Oh, so sorry about that. I think it's a glitch from their end. It took a while before mine loaded. All right, and we
So, so the entire everything is on C,
no, everything is
right?
not on C. We had one that was
Okay, just
A.
one.
But it's not just about the position where they are, but what role do deployment strategies play in DevOps culture and practices? They support continuous integration and continuous delivery, CICD. And that brings us to the end of our wow, sports came third. Samas came second. Now who took wow, limitless. Wow.
Like this is very the limitless AO came from the back.
Yes,
I didn't see that coming. I
yes.
didn't see that coming. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Limitless. Congratulations to you. Please do well. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And for those that had difficulty joining, I think Kahoot had an issue today. If you noticed, it took some time before it loaded on my end. Yes, I think it's an issue from Kahoot's end. So, Limitless AO, do well to send us these details. Yes, so sorry. LinkedIn profile, email address, phone number, your Twitter handle to AWS Cloud Sec West Africa at gmail.com is on the screen. You can take a screenshot. We have an award for the first winner, a prize for the first winner. And do well to
Wait, wait,
follow
wait,
us on
wait.
all
Blessing,
social media
blessing. Sorry,
platforms. Do well to
sorry,
follow us on
blessing.
all our social media platforms. Congratulations to all of you. Over to you, Keme. Yes.
Blessing. How will you know which person actually won? Because anybody can just decide that they're so person and then they send their details.
No, he will definitely
Think
send us a
about
proof.
it. How? What's proof?
No worry, we'll know how to rectify it. So thank you
Okay.
everyone. Thank you very much. This today was really very interactive and we sincerely apologize for the glitch we had with Kahoot. Thank you, sports. Thanks to everyone that joined, asked questions. I really love that. What's the award? Oh, the award is a $50 AWS credits that you can use to practice in your AWS account. But sometimes we switch it up. We may still sometimes we award an exam voucher, but for this we're awarding a $50 AWS credit. So do reach out to us, send these details to us. Yes, send these details to us. Your LinkedIn profile, your email address, your phone number, your Twitter handle to AWS Cloud Security Sec West Africa Gmail with the proof, a screenshot of the page showing that you are the one that won, then of course your full name. That brings us to the end of today's session. I think because of the glitch, we went over time a little bit, but okay, I did so well by walking us through how to implement deployment strategy, breaking it down for us. Oh,
Blessing, you're a stellar host. You have the skills. It's
thank
in
you
your
very
blood.
much. Thank you
Yeah.
very much for that. Thank you very much. And like Ukeme said, we have, if you're not yet joined, and if you we have a community on WhatsApp where you can join and you can follow us on all our social media platforms by copying this link. It has the link to all our social media platforms for you to follow through and be up to date with any activity we have. We still have our study and win a prize session continues next week. It holds every Monday and Tuesday up until the end when we end. And then we also have an event coming up in October. It's going to be a very big event, a virtual event, bigger than the study series. And we have lots of exciting things happening. We have more speakers that are going to come that day. And we have various activities that we plan to have that day. So do well to save the dates, do well to follow us on social media so you'll be up to date with whatever that is happening. And like Ukeme said, if you want to have a hands-on, if you want to have practical knowledge of what is happening away from the study series, yes, okay, I will share the link tree. This is it. This is the link tree. So we can copy it, it's in the chat. And do well to join the DevOps study group. Ukeme, you're here to share it. And for
Okay.
more study sessions, you can also check Ukeme's YouTube channel and follow him. Then you can always come back to rewatch the study series we have. We have various study series that covers different sessions. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. We had more people join us from Lagos, someone from the US, two people from Cameroon, and I'm sure we had more people from different places that maybe came in late. Ebenezer is not the winner. We have, I think, is this is the winner. We have Abdulatif Ogundipe, AO, Limitless AO. So thank you very much and congratulations once again. You all are winners, and I'm certain that at the end of this lecture, with the way Ukeme taught us patiently, I'm sure you took one
Why you
away.
why you why you talking that patiently? You just been
Yes,
repeating it.
someone
Well,
was in tune with me that this is unlike Ukeme. He did not spend time, and he was very calm.
so I'm not calm before.
That's not for me to say. So thank you, everyone. We can't wait to see you next week, same time, 6 p.m. West African time, and Monday and Tuesday. Save the dates. Watch out for our email messages, and then check for our messages on yes, check for our messages on the various social media platforms that we are on. Thank you, and that brings us to the very end. Ukeme, you're a wonderful teacher, and we always love to have you. Thank you very, very much for always pouring out yourself for us. That brings us to the end. Everybody, good night.